What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over the safety protocols that kept me safe as a rideshare driver. Now, I'm speaking to majority of the women on this one. I'm speaking to men and women on this one, but mainly the women, because we know how the world is when it comes to people being weirdos and stuff happening. Women are always the target, especially with them driving rideshare. You know, some of these women trying to make a living, trying to make money driving people around, and you know they got to be on their guards, especially when it comes to dealing with other men. And I know Uber and Lyft came out with, no, I think it was Lyft, where the women that's passengers could select just women drivers, but that still don't limit nothing or decreases the chances of something happening. I'm just saying, like, hey, it's still out here. If you're a women driver, just protect yourself, which is why I'm making this video. And this is for men as well. So for both parties, but I'm saying mainly I'm speaking more so for women. But let's dive right into it. So why safety is your number one priority. So the reality, y'all, you driving strangers in unfamiliar areas. Let's be real. You don't know every part of your city. So, you know, y'all know driving Uber or Lyft, like you pick people up that you never seen before and you drop them off and then you never see them again. You might catch them again, but it's very rare. Late night hours is high risk situations. Late night hours equal high risk situations. Your vehicle is your livelihood. Protected. You know, that's how you make your money. One bad situation can end your career, whether that be, you know, somebody trying to rob you, whatever. So just want to make sure you stay on point. But the goal is get home safe every night. Build a sustainable, profitable business. If that's your plan, you know, driving rideshare. Protect your vehicle and equipment. Maintain peace of mind while working. Safety protocols don't limit your earnings. They protect them. So you always want to make sure you're on P's and Q's, or on your P's and Q's as a rideshare driver. No matter if you're a woman or you're a man, it's just best to always be on guard while you're driving people around that you never met before or, you know, never seen. Because who knows? We live in a crazy world nowadays. So you just want to make sure, you know, you're always ahead of the game or always on point. That way, if something happened, you can possibly prevent it. But let's go to the next one. Know your market areas to avoid. So in here, I got Houston bad areas. You know, I did a deep market pool of all of Houston bad areas. Have I been to all of these areas? No. Would I go to all of these areas? Probably not. But sometimes you might get people that you drop off in certain high crime areas that you don't know is high crime. But when you get in the area, you can kind of tell what kind of environment it is. So this is a list, you know, I'm running down: Sunnyside, McGregor, Sharpstown, Greenspoint, Far North. We got 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, 5th Ward, Northeast, Northwest, and also East End. So all these areas typically gonna have crime, violence, you know, people getting all types of stuff. I can't explain, but let's just say baseline is high crime activity. And you just want to make sure you avoid it. And I highly recommend that if you're watching this video, you don't live in Houston, pull up or look up the dangerous areas in your city. That way you make sure you know to stay away from that area. Now, don't get me wrong, driving Uber, driving Lyft, you don't get to pick where you drop people off, but you do get to see the location you're dropping them off. So to a certain extent, you can avoid it, but it's up to you. But just know your high crime areas. That way you can stay away from them. Passenger red flag, spot trouble before it gets in. So on here, I put a list of what I've done whenever I was driving or whenever I used to drive, as far as like when it came to people, basically before they got in my car, you know, I stopped it. So I was able to see it from afar and I stopped it based off, you know, how they carried themselves or what type of energy they brought. So this was my immediate cancel signals. Large groups acting crazy or aggressive. That's typically going to be the bar, night crowd, you know, clubs, all of that. Highly intoxicated passengers stumbling. Sketchy areas with no one in sight. Passengers wearing gang color symbols. Multiple people, but only one ride requested. Passengers arguing or fighting. So that's immediate cancel. You know, I'm pretty sure you watching this video, you're a rideshare driver. You probably done picked up a couple or a group of people that was arguing or fighting before they got in your car. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you now, because they're going to bring that energy in your SUV, and you don't want to be driving and then they start fighting in your SUV. Same with them being highly intoxicated. There's certain signs that you want to look out for. That way you're able to prevent it from happening by canceling the ride rather than just saying, oh, you know what, I need the money. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some of y'all probably need the money, so you take every ride you can get. But just for your safety, it ain't that deep when it comes to money. I'm more of a safety kind of guy rather than, this ride paying $30 and, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to put my safety on the line. Like, no, I'm good. Passenger assessment checklist. This is what you should do. And I'm talking about scan the area before they actually get in your SUV. You want to make sure they're actually functioning normal. They're not walking crazy, highly intoxicated, under the influence of any type or sort. You want to make sure they dressed pretty cool, no indicators of possible, or they could be like homeless or anything like that, or, just certain things you want to watch out for when it comes to how they dress. Respectful when approaching vehicle. Just acting normal, walk into your car, opening the door handle, and hey, how you doing? If they walk into your car all aggressive, or they mad or something just happened, like I said, they're gonna bring that energy in your car, so you might want to cancel. Can they walk straight and talk clear? Do they have the right pickup location? And are they alone or with family and friends? Always make sure you have the right pickup location, and whoever you picking up, actually that person. Always make sure. So for me, it was a 0 tolerance. If anything feels off, trust your instincts and cancel immediately. Your safety is worth more than any ride fee, as I just mentioned earlier. Strategic vehicle positioning. So when it comes to getting in certain spots or going to certain spots, I'm going to just give y'all a broad example. If you're a rideshare driver, you dealt with the night crowd, bars, clubs, etc. Y'all know it get crazy, it get rowdy. For example, whenever I used to drive, it used to be big crowds out in like the club areas here in Houston, where everybody scattered out like freaking rats, roaches, and this group over here fighting. You got girls arguing, people doing donuts in the car. It's just like a fucking movie scene, and it's bad. So you never want to put yourself in a bad position to where you can't get out of that. Never enter crowded parking lots. Drive into dead end spaces. Park where you can get boxed in. Turn off engine in sketchy areas. Wait in isolated locations. You kind of want to get in and get out. For example, if I'm finna pick up a couple, or let's say a group of people on a black SUV, I'm not going to, and let's say I'm picking them up from a club, I'm not finna go in a club parking lot or bar parking lot. I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to make them walk, because just in case something happened or I have to cancel for having to wait 10-15 minutes. Y'all know how it is when it comes to bars and clubs. People don't come out on time. I'm an impatient guy, especially you already getting paid like shit. So imagine having to wait 20 minutes for a group of people to come out that's highly intoxicated. So you always want to be able to get in and out. So I recommend you picking people up from an establishment, and it's a bar or club, park in front of the establishment. If they don't allow it, let's say they got valet, park in a spot where you can get out quick or leave if you have to cancel. So always stay on main roads with quick exits. Use hazard lights when waiting. Face direction of fastest escape route. Keep engine running in risky areas. Position near street lights when possible. And y'all never unlock your door. Especially my women drivers out there, never unlock your door until you see like your passenger, or them having multiple people and it's them. Never unlock your door until then. Don't just pull up, unlock your door, and just wait, because anybody can come hop in your vehicle, and then boom, they got you. So for venues like clubs or bars with high traffic, stay in the road, turn on hazard lights, set time limit, never enter venue parking areas, keep doors locked until passenger identity is confirmed. So everything that's listed right here will help put you in a good position to where you avoid not just crowds, but also people that's not good people. That's the best way I can put it. So technology safety, whenever I was driving, y'all, even like now in my SUVs currently, I got dash cams. I mainly work with Vantrue. So Vantrue dash cams are literally the best dash cams out there. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not promoting. I ain't got shit to promote. I'm just genuinely telling y'all like, hey, Vantrue got some good dash cams. Not only do they get good quality during the day, but they also get good 4K quality at night. And if y'all want to go watch some of my old videos, y'all, where I was driving people around and I used to record it a couple months ago, go check them out. Go check out that quality. During the day and during the night, it was good quality. You also get to record the road, the back of your SUV. You basically get like a 360 camera that actively record all day. So if somebody assault you, try to rob if anybody trying to do anything, any physical harm to you, that's documented on camera. Or if somebody pull out in front of you and you hit them, that's documented on camera. So I think if you're going to be in the rideshare business, you need to have a dash cam. That's mandatory. Not just to protect yourself from people. I just think it's a good legal thing to have if you want to protect yourself from people. I'll just leave it there. So 360 recording, night vision, continuous recording, evidence protection, instant protection. Location sharing. So that's another one. My whole team, y'all got my location at all times. So when I was driving full time, if they noticed something was off, they would be calling me very quickly. So if you're watching this video, you're a rideshare driver, no matter if you're a woman or man, make sure you have some type of app or whatever when it comes to tracking that your family members have, or your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Make sure they always have your location at all times. And not just them, but make sure multiple people have it. That way, if something off, your boyfriend could contact your mom and say, hey, you seen so-and-so? We ain't heard from her in a while. Or, whatever. That's just an example. Good benefit of my location. I'll use them as an example, or that device or app as an example. You get real-time updates. Sometimes it do take a while to update, but it actively try to update every other minute. Quick emergency team can respond immediately, always accessible, no extra apps needed. So really, if you got if you got an iPhone, you good. Just cut on my location. You can step it up a notch. I mean, they got other apps and devices out there for like tracking, or you can put on or have in your car or whatever. That's another thing I want to say. Don't just have it. Don't let them have just your location, but also get a tracker for like your car as well too. That way you like doubled up. Backup safety measures, physical security. So whenever I drove, y'all, I carried pepper spray. I used to have a pew pew, but I stopped carrying that because I'm like, I don't want nobody to see me with that. I always had it hidden in my compartment where nobody could see it, but I just stopped carrying it. I'm just like, there's no need. Me driving Uber Black whenever I drove Uber kind of like decreased my chances of having to deal with people like that. I know when it comes to crime and, people possibly doing something to you physically, it's typically going to be lower end people, poor, low middle class people that can afford the $2 to $3 or $4 rides. So, just me being able to do Uber Black, I really didn't have to deal with a crowd like that, which is why I'm like, I'll put my gun up and I'll just have pepper spray. I think pepper spray is excellent because you don't have to kill nobody, Like, don't get me wrong. If I have to, I will, but I want to avoid that as much as possible. So you being able to pepper spray somebody in the eyes and get out of there and call the police is probably the best route, best possible option. Always keep your doors locked. I would say, get y'all windows tinted. All my SUVs, 5% tint. I mean, like I said, I don't drive no more, y'all, but I'm just giving y'all stuff that y'all can take with y'all. Have your emergency contacts, boyfriend, girlfriend, family members, ride details, share it with team, check-in protocols. If you want to check in with your spouse or your family member every 2 to 3 hours, check in with them. Say, hey, man, I'm driving tonight or I'm driving today. So I just want to make sure my safety is good. So always check in with me every other hour to make sure I'm good. Have your mirrors positioned. Whenever I drove, y'all, I had my rearview mirror positioned a certain way. Now, obviously, you're driving people around. You can't just be looking back every damn 30 seconds. And also, that's kind of weird and awkward, especially if you're driving around, weird people. So what I'll do, I'll just have my rearview mirror cracked a certain way, and then I'll just glance at it every couple minutes just to make sure nobody doing no sketchy, weird shit in the back. Also, quick access to safety equipment. I had my pepper spray by my left leg. So it was kind of, I had this little compartment on my driver door on the inside. So if anything went down and I needed to pull that pin out and spray somebody, I could do it very quickly. So you always want to be thinking ahead of, if something happened, how could you take care of it very quickly? So whatever y'all need to do that, just make sure you have your little system in place to, take care of that. That's the best way I can say. Also, emergency exit strategy plan. Obviously, if it's your vehicle, you're going to want to try to get out the driver door. But who knows, man? People do weird stuff all the time. So you might have to wrestle with somebody and go out the rear door or the trunk. But always shoot for that driver door. And I think having pepper spray the best way to dilute the situation for a time being. Because once you take somebody's vision from them, not only is they fucked with can't see, but also they fucked with they can't escape. Where the fuck they gonna run to? You know how somebody can come in your car, and if you don't have pepper spray, do whatever they want to you. Let's say they trying to rob you and take your bags or something, or your wallet. They can do that and get, if you ain't got nothing to, dilute it or stop them, they get away with it. If you got pepper spray and you hit their ass in the eye, shit, they can't see no more. So you took away their vision. Not only is it a win for you to stop them, but you also get to put their ass in jail for trying to attempt to rob you. So different protocols, private clients versus app rides. So I want to make something very clear. Just because you have private clients don't mean you always out of the blue. And I'm going to explain the differences. So when it comes to like private clients, like whenever I drove y'all, I vetted out all my private clients. I'm not a money-based guy. Y'all know this. I say this all the time. I don't just want your money. I want to see, is you a good fit to be a private client? What's your character like? How you speak to people? Things that you're involved in and do. That's what made me determine like, hey, man, I'm going to go above and beyond for you for doing business with me. So I always did a vetting process. And not only that, but the good thing about driving private clients is y'all build a relationship. So you're kind of familiar with their patterns and what they do when they in your SUV, which now you're able to bring your guard down. Now, I'm not telling you if you built a private clientele to lower your guard fully. No, you should always be on your P's and Q's, always be on your guard, even if you feel like you can trust a person. Always. So that's kind of like the difference, as far as like the app rides, y'all know it's just unknown people. So you really want to be on high alert, your high guard, whatever you want to call it, because these are complete strangers, especially for my women drivers out there. There's a lot of guys out there that's fucking weird in this world. Weird. So please, I know y'all probably had like certain experiences. Also, let us know down in the comment section. I would love to make another video talking about it. But I'm pretty sure, female drivers have weird experiences all the time. I'll give y'all one. So y'all know my partner. She drove with me back in. So when did this happen? I think this happened in January or February. And I know it could have been sooner than that. But basically, long story short, y'all, a guy offered my girl, a very weird guy. She picked him up from the Post Oak Hotel here in Houston, Texas. For those of you that don't know, it's like a very luxurious hotel. But anyways, long story short, she said weird guy, glasses, his face looked all weird. He got in her car and basically, they start, talking as far as like driver to client. My partner, she's not rude. She's very friendly. Not like that, but like when it comes to customer service, me and her know customer service very well. So we're not going to be rude when it comes to, providing service, because if you're a rideshare driver, you in the customer service field. But anyways, conversation started. Hey, how your night going? Hey, it's going well. How about yours? And then he told her something about like her calculations of, he was timing her whenever she pulled up. He was like, you got here in like 8.2 seconds, and you the only driver I ever had to get in here so fast and get us out, or get me out. And she was like, oh, okay. And she's like, cool, good to know. And then he just kept asking her dry questions, like weird questions. Let's just say weird. And she was giving like one-ended answers, like, to where he really couldn't ask another question or keep the conversation going. And then at the end of the ride, he offered her $100,000 to go on a date with him, and like pulled out, showed her his phone, showed the money and all of that. Like, hey, would you go out with me for $100,000? And she told him no, and he got the fuck out the SUV. But that's like an example I can give. So, women drivers, just make sure you stay protected. I got two different things in this slideshow right here, where it's like private clients, app riders. So I'm going to go over the app riders, because I pretty much went over the private clients. But the app riders, complete strangers, no prior interaction history, unknown backgrounds, intentions, minimum app-based screening. So yeah, Uber really don't do a good job screening people at all. You can be a damn criminal, have a high criminal. You can be robbing people your whole life and still be able to be a passenger on Uber. High alert at all times, constant situational awareness, quick assessment required, zero tolerance for red flags. Every app rider is a potential risk. Stay vigilant. I'm going to go back to the prior interaction. No, it wasn't that one. It was the unknown background and intention. Sorry. So when it comes to that, man, like I said, Uber do a horrible job when it comes to screening people. Uber is a company that want to make money. So anybody pretty much allowed to get on a platform and, as a passenger, of course, and get rides from people. And, my opinion, I do think they need to have it to where, they vet people out more and better. And if they got something on their record or background, it's not they shouldn't be allowed to be on the app, period. But this all play into ride types. If you're a woman driver and you're watching this video, I recommend, if you're going to be in a rideshare business, you love it, you like driving, get on the Uber Black side, because that minimizes or decreases your chance of having to deal with weird people. Now, don't get me wrong. Do it fully. No, like I just gave y'all an example. My partner got hit on. It just, I'll say it decreases your chance of something happening to you physically, of some guy trying to like physically assault you or something like that. But when it comes to Uber Black, you still might deal with like some weird white men or corporate guys that, find you attractive or whatever and try to flirt with you. So it just decreases the chance of somebody actually physically trying to do something to you. I mean, like I said, it don't block you out fully. You still might deal with it with weird people trying to hit on you, but at least it's like, you can turn them down and be like, all right, bye, and never see them again, versus somebody trying to physically touch you or put their hands on you. So Uber Black primarily reduces risk exposure. High-end service attracts more professional clientele and fewer problem passengers. Zero tolerance enforcement. So something that was always a no-go for me, y'all, was a bunch of things, but mainly just highly intoxicated people. That was my biggest pet peeve when it came to driving, or like entitled, disrespectful passengers. I just didn't like dealing with them. So behavior issues is a immediate no-go. So if they disrespect you or your vehicle, kick them out. Aggressive or threatening language, kick them out or refuse service. Refusal to follow safety rules, no seatbelt. If they got kids, no proper like baby, what is that? A baby car seat. If they don't have that, no. Inappropriate touching or comments, immediate kick out. No matter if you're a male or female. Damaging vehicle property. Typically, with that, you might get them kicking the back of your seat, touching stuff in your car without your permission, just doing stuff. People do shit all the time. I got that a lot, especially like driving a nice Range Rover, a car like a Range Rover. Oh, what does this do? What does this do? Like, let them know, like, hey, don't be touching stuff. Set that boundary, set that standard up front. Safety violations, highly intoxicated passengers, no go. That's immediate kick out. bring in prohibited items, making you feel unsafe, lying about pickup, drop off destination, too many passengers for a vehicle. All of these are no-goes. Before even, this, and I'm going to end it on this of the intoxicated people. You get the choice to deal with them or not. So you vet them out as they walk into your car. I'm going to give y'all an example. One time I was in a Rover. I had called an Uber Black. It was from me picking up from this Mexican restaurant. It was 3 white men. Upon arrival, it was a drunk man in the middle and one of his friends to the left and one of his friends to the right. Basically, the guy in the middle was like leaning. He was slouchy and his friends was trying to keep him up. I was like, oh, no. I was thinking about like canceling right there. Now, don't get me wrong. The reason I didn't cancel right away is because sometimes whenever they got friends in there versus them being by themselves, their friends keep them in check. But I'm going to go to it in a second of why I just don't like dealing with them, period. But anyways, I pull up. I'm like, let me see what this is about before I actually cancel. One of the friends come to the window. He's like, hey, man, could you give us a sec? We're just going to try to get him in the car. I say, yeah, go ahead. And they tried to put this man in the car. He kept saying, no, I don't want to go in the car. I want to go back. And I guess he meant back to the restaurant. I don't know. But he was basically throwing a hissy fit. A grown man throwing a hissy fit about getting into a car, which his friends was trying to help him out. And in my head, I'm like, they trying to help you out, which is why I have zero respect for people that cannot control their alcohol intake. It's like I hate it so much. So I don't have no respect for nobody. I don't have no respect for people that can't control how much alcohol they consume. Long story short, he kept fighting. So I rolled down my window. I said, hey, man, I'm going to have to cancel. I was like, this just going to be an issue and I don't want to deal with it. And then the 2 friends got salty, but they understood. Like, I'm driving a fucking Range Rover. I would hate for this man to get in my car, throw up in the back or, damage something. And now I got to come after them legally or, have to deal with that. So I prevented it by turning down the ride. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's messed up when it comes to turning down intoxicated people because you would rather them take rideshare like Uber and Lyft versus driving themselves and potentially killing somebody in an accident, which is like I said, I get the concept. But what I hate most about that, y'all, is people like, I'm going to just say people that's intoxicated, getting in, especially when they by themselves, not being able to control their urges. As far as just throwing up out of nowhere, no self-awareness, like can't alert you on nothing. Like I said, I know it's messed up that I don't like it. And people that's, highly intoxicated, they doing everybody a favor by catching the rideshare and making sure they protect it. But at the same time, they too much of a liability. I'll be more prone to take the ride if they got like friends or family with them. But if they by themselves, I typically just say, hey, man, let me put you right there because they don't know where they going. Like I done heard stories about like somebody picking up intoxicated people that was by themselves and they don't even know what address they supposed to go to. And I think the people that they was drinking at the bar with, now don't get me wrong, I know everybody don't go to the bar with friends or families, but the people that they do go to the bar with, I think are pieces of shit if they know their friend is taking an Uber or Lyft and they not making sure he got the right address in or making sure he get to the safe car. Or making sure he get to the car safe. Same with females as well. So it's like pros and cons with it. I just don't like dealing with it in general. It's just too much of a liability to deal with a highly intoxicated person. So I try my best to avoid it. Master situational awareness, mirror positioning, side mirrors, continuous scanning, threat detection, awareness, environment scan, exit strategy, body language, trust instincts. Man, your stomach never lie. If you know something off or not right, it's probably 9 times out of 10 not right. But like I said, you're able to avoid all of this by watching body language and watch how people come to your car. I'll give y'all another example. One time I was driving, I seen a large group of people walk into my SUV and they was running. And they got to the SUV. One of their friends was kind of like slummed, and it was way too many. It was like 8 of them trying to fit in my SUV, which I didn't have room for. And I straight up told the girl, she tried to beg and plead, please, please. I'm like, no. I was like, no, y'all need to take more Ubers. People try to penny pinch and be cheap and all take one ride. No, call another ride. Y'all have money, call another ride. You ain't got to take a black, but, you know, call another Comfort or XL or X. Quit trying to squeeze fucking 10 to 8 people in a SUV, especially a medium-sized SUV. But yeah, y'all, just make sure you want to focus on certain things and avoid certain things. So I ain't gonna get too deep in it. Y'all see the chart that I put up here for y'all, you know, about times, what to avoid, and also safer alternatives. Emergency response protocol, you know, pretty much just make sure your team well aware of you driving. Let me move myself real fast. And yeah, make sure your team, family, whatever, girl, guy, whoever in your life, make sure they're aware that you're driving that day or driving at night. And just check in with them. And here's a list that I got for y'all if something do happen, you know. If you get immediate threats, communication, and also a post-incident checklist. But you know, having pepper spray and also just been in a different class of rideshare like black typically will try, you know, prevent that or decrease the chances. Now let's go to the safety protocol I got for y'all. Y'all need a dash cam if y'all ain't got one, pepper spray, share your location, emergency contacts, vehicle safety inspection, current mindset principle, trust your instinct, safety over profit, prevention beats reaction, zero tolerance for disrespect, continuous situational awareness. So know your market. Remember, you control the situation, your vehicle, your rules, your safety decisions. And don't try to let people persuade you by giving you an extra $20 to $40 to take the ride if they know they don't, you know, they brought extra people or they know that you might have to deal with somebody that may be a problem. So stand your ground. That's the best way I can put it. But that'll be pretty much it for the video, y'all. I just really wanted to make a quick video. Didn't expect for it to be this long. But if y'all have any questions or feel like I missed out on something, let me know down in the comment section. Also, show love to the channel. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all next video.